And next, I would like to invite the ambassador from Cuba to speak.
The people, united, shall always be victorious. We shall fight, we shall win. We shall fight, we shall win. We shall fight, we shall win. We shall fight, we shall win.
Well, thank you first to invite me to this meeting. Remember Fidel. That is always for all Cubans and all friends very, very exciting. I have to live, of course, all these days, the last week, moment of emotion, because I have received many, many messages. I have read many messages in the newspaper, and many friends that I not even know, person that lives far, far away from Delhi, they have called us and they have brought us the condolence for the death of Fidel. And for that, I want to thank you, all the friends of India, in first place. Second, I wanted to mention, perhaps to continue what the professor was saying about the participation of the Cubans in Angola. Two things that I think it's very, very important. Number one, after the Americans could not resist the mention that the Cuban troops were there because we were soldiers of the Soviets, then they brought another lie. And that lie was that the Cubans were in Angola because we were looking after the mines, the factories, and the economy of Angola. Oil, and that is a big lie. Fidel, when he received the Cuban soldier that came back from Angola, he said, we only receive from Angola the soldier that feel struggling direct against racism in Angola. And that is, of course, a very, very high and very important for us. And the second idea that I wanted to also to say, that personally, Fidel, was the person in Cuba that from Havana, from the general staff of the army, he organized the whole mobilization of our soldiers in that battle of Quito Caraballo, and then the offensive from the north to the south. That is a sign of his extraordinary strategy, not only political, but also military. Sometimes I found many, many friends, they asked me, why did Cuba make a revolution? Why Fidel led a group of more than 160 Cubans, young people, most of them less than 25 years, and they just went to the Moncada Caserne and fight against the tyranny from Batista? Well, his main purpose was to change the old capitalist system. Cuba was, before 1959, one of the most poor countries in Latin America, one of the most poor countries in the Caribbean. We had in Cuba only one main production, that was sugarcane. And the sugarcane work was done only during 6 months. The other 6 months, the worker from sugarcane they were without job. And that was the main industry in the country. We had in Cuba illiteracy more than 60% from the adult person. I mean, including children and adult person, more than 60%. We had the birth rate in Cuba for children under 1 year, almost 36%. And the expectancy of age was in Cuba 58, 57 years. That was a land very, very poor. The people were ignorant. If you ask him, you want, like at the beginning of the revolution, Fidel asked the people, do you want job? They respond, yes. Do you want free health? Yes. Do you want free education? Yes. Do you want culture? Yes. Do you want communism? No. And he said, and then he explained, but that is also socialism. So ignorant was our people. So one of the most important things from Fidel, he showed us. We learned from him. And he make from this ignorant country one of the most people with a high professional and education rate. We don't forget Fidel. We don't forget Fidel because he has made from our country a famous country all over the world because of its anxious of independence and liberty, but also because we have played a role also for the struggling of the independence and liberation in other countries. In Africa, as Professor said, but also we should not forget Latin America. And Fidel always said, Cuba is son and daughter from the internationalist. And he's right, because we are raised, thanked from many, many Latin Americans that fought for independence in our country. So we thanked friends that Fidel is a person that lives more than almost 90 years, but he has left for all Cubans a legacy. A legacy that we have to continue. All Cubans have to continue. We cannot imagine that a little island of 11 million people and almost 100,000 square kilometer can come back to neoliberalism, can come back to suffering like we have in many, many countries today, also in Latin America, like Haiti, poor countries. So we have to fight for that. And that's why we love Fidel. Now, during all these days, the people of Cuba is demonstrating his love to Fidel, and they just have una consigna. Well, a slogan. They have a slogan. I am Fidel. You are Fidel. My sister is Fidel. My brother is Fidel. I am Fidel. And why he say that? Why we say that? We say that because to make socialism, to make a higher society of justice, we can do it only with the legacy and with the idea from Marxism, Leninism, from Martí, from Che Guevara, and from Fidel. And Fidel, he went away physically, but his idea is there, and that is the reason we need that he think and he feels like Fidel, and she feels like Fidel, and I feel like Fidel.
and I can trust you, will make this struggle to the end. Cuba will win. We'll build a good socialism example for the world. Thank you.
Lal salam, lal salam. Lal salam, lal salam.